It is I.
Informative.
It is E.
Educational.
It is E again.
Entertaining. That's it. There's no other letters. That's the whole thing. It's just
Inform, educate.
And entertain.
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 That's what I've been up to since we stopped recording last time.
I reckon Ottawan would be proud.
For the benefit of the tape, all of the guests loved that. Welcome to Inform, Educate, Entertain! It's the podcast panel show for everyone who loves panel shows but wishes they were all rooted in one man's deep-seated desire to be on Radio 4. My name is Sam Wilkinson, and every fortnight on this show I invite three of comedy's most chucklesome characters to compete for the chance to collaborate with my completely made-up broadcasting corporation. This week, the casting department of our long-running children's time travel sci-fi drama has some real heart, and I'll try not to carp on about it. Is that the right word? Carp? Or is it trout? I'll try not to trout on, but we'll not argue about semantics. The problem is that the previous star of this show decided to bake a lovely cake for the show's director and Dave, his son. Dave bloody loved it. He ate it and then walked through his studio. Colin Baker, this cake is the real McCoy. Can you do any more? Sure, said the previous star of the show, who was rehearsing an action scene with a laser blaster prop in his hand. Let me put down McGann and I'll show you all sorts of cakes. Can you do those pastry ones with raisins in? Asked Dave. Eccles, tons of them. It's alright, I only want 10, and 10 of those other ones. The legendary cake with no calories in it. Sorry, that's Smith. That's a myth, said the actor. Say, where did you get that nice cap? Aldi? This conversational swerve confused Dave. He said, wait, hey, what, wait, hey, could you consider opening a cake shop of your own? And the actor did. So because they left, we're looking for a new actor to play an infinitely regenerating children's sci-fi time traveller character. That was all in one take. I didn't expect that. Listen, if you didn't enjoy that incredibly long and tortured series of Doctor Who puns, then get out. This podcast is not for you. Over 3 potentially exciting rounds, though much more exciting than what just happened, my auditionees will try to inform, educate, or entertain me for points. Every time I feel one of those things, I will give them a point by ringing this bell. Ding! By which I mean I will later edit in this sound of a bell. Ding! By which I mean I will press this bell button on my fancy new mixing desk. Yeah! We've got a budget this series. Let's meet my 3 troubadours of terrific time travel. They are an award-winning comedian, actor and writer, aka the original mixed-race Duchess of Sussex, the comedian behind Gabriel Jones' Corporate Angel, and a woman who's happy to be here but will be happier afterwards when she goes back to talking to her dog. It's Lauren Douglin, Adam Tumber, and Stacy Mellor! Before we start this show for real, there's a chance for the candidates to score some early points with our fictional studio audience. Unlike real BBC shows, nobody wants to show up to a recording in my house, so the audience remains regretfully made up. I've asked my contestants to each bring along one fictional person to help me feel less alone. Already in the room we have Mr. Dr. John Hammond from the Jurassic Park, Miss Trunchbull from Matilda, and Emma Crossan's sock puppet boss, Mr. Stevens. Lauren, who've you brought along?
I brought along Sam Beckett.
Oh!
Not to be confused with Samuel Beckett, the playwright, just standard Sam Beckett, who is the best time traveller ever committed to television. 97 episodes. He, helped out with the suffragette movement, the civil rights movement. He was there for birth and death of famous people. He wasn't alone. He had a wonderful cigar-smoking hologram of a best friend. And I'm sure I passed GCSE history because of Sam Beckett in the Emmy Award-winning Quantum Leap.
I don't have an applause button on this thing, but if I did, you would have got some right there. What a great choice. Well done, Lauren. Welcome to the audience, Sam Beckett. Adam, who's your friend tonight?
Believe it or not, given the people who are already in there, my candidate for tonight for your fictional audience is Matilda Wormwood.
Excellent!
Basically, she is an absolute case study in rising from adversity. She had dodgy parents there with questionable morals, yet retained her own moral compass, and she was an avid reader. Very intelligent, so I think she'll love this podcast. She's a lover of knowledge. She overcame the bullying that she received from Miss Trunchbull, who she's presumably going to have to sit the opposite side of the living room to, and also had a wicked sense of humour and enjoyed a good practical joke. The telekinesis thing could kind of fit in with the theme of tonight's episode.
All of that is true and good, and is a 3-point answer. We did discuss at the start of last week's episode how Matilda was a bit of a dick with that whole chocolate thing, so yeah, I mean, I'm not sure whose side I'm on anymore. Looking back as a child, that woman was just trying to do her job. Here's to all the teachers out there. Stace! I felt like a Radio 2 DJ there. This is one for all the teachers. Now let's play Take That.
I hate those precocious children. Well, you know what? I've selected Ziggy from Quantum Leap.
You have not.
Yeah. Because I thought Sam Beckett, because I love Sam Beckett, Sam and Al. But then I was like, you know what? They are great, those guys. But Ziggy is the real star of the show. Like, he is, well, I say he's gender fluid because they refer to him as he throughout the whole series. But in the end, he's actually got a female voice. It's a super hybrid computer with no guilt, but the ego of Barbara Streisand. Of course, you want that in your audience?
Stacy Mellor, 4 points. You're quite right. Ziggy was the star of the show. And if there's one thing I love in a TV show, it's people calculating the chances of things happening. Ziggy says there's a 90% chance that the next round will be round 1.
Inform, educate, and entertain.
As Jingletron 5000, my sad jingle robot there, as excited as he's ever been for the prospect of being in a genuine sci-fi serial. Thanks, Jingletron 5000. Round 1 is the presentation round, and just like a children's TV sci-fi time traveller must go around hanging around with Romans one week to fighting space demons the next, so too must my candidates go from dropping excellent facts to telling silly jokes in one smooth presentation. Each week on round 1, I give my candidates a perfectly simple question to answer in a perfectly complicated way, and this week retains that same essence. It's a question of 4-dimensional mathematics this week as we ask, what links time and travel? Adam, why don't you take the first spot?
Time is a publication with a Person of the Year. Charles Lindbergh was the first to win the magazine's cheer. His purpose-built plane was the Spirit of St. Louis. Flew from New York to Paris without going kablooey. He flew the Atlantic in 33 hours and took in the Louvre and the most famous of towers. Built by Gustave Eiffel for a World's Fair exposition. Looking down not recommended for a nervous disposition. Acrophobia is the irrational fear of being at height, often confused with vertigo. The comparison's not right. Vertigo's a dizziness, it's not nearly the same, and it's portrayed by James Stewart in a film of the same name. Hitchcock the director, the hero Scotty's obsessed, the film culturally significant, in the Library of Congress. It was the first film to use a technique called dolly zoom, distorts the perspective and creates a sense of doom. Doom was a first-person shooter RPG, pioneering online distribution and graphics in 3D. You battled invading demons from hell. You could mod it and blast Dominic Cummings as well. Doom spawned a film whose cast included wrestler The Rock. He achieved 1 million downloads of an app alarm clock. A bankable actor who is always worth booking with the catchphrase, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" Cooking's an art form when in the right hands, but haute cuisine is more than just a few pots and pans. If you're very impressive, you earn a Michelin star. Joel Robuchon has over 30, more than anyone by far. Michelin was founded by a pair of eponymous brothers. They made pneumatic tires out of all sorts of rubbers. Bibendum is their mascot. His name means to drink. Over time, he's been black and white, but never pink. Corporate mascots come in all shapes and sizes, from the Haribo child to frogs hawking Budweisers. Haribo was founded in the city of Bonn, capital of West Germany in days now long gone. It sits on the bank of the great river Rhine that also flows through Austria and Liechtenstein. A small principality with a strong financial sector, in the Alps, which were crossed by Hannibal, not Lecter. Hannibal was a general in the Second War's Punic, where most of the protagonists wore a toga or tunic. Historians rate his abilities highly. As a soldier, he was clever, he was feared, he was wily. Wiley's a hungry coyote whose plans often fail. To catch Roadrunner with inventions, he gets through the mail. He falls off of cliffs and is frequently injured. It must be a nightmare for him to get insured.
Oh.
Types of insurance include home, pet, and travel. And with that, our journey has finally unraveled. From Lindbergh through Paris, Tyres, the Rhine. And that is how we link the words travel and time.
Adam Tumber, 22 points.
I think that was probably worth the fact I didn't do any work at work on Friday to actually do that.
I'm blown away. I stopped giving you points for at the beginning. I was just giving you a point for every line, and then I realised this can't continue. Oh, they rhyme. Well, of course they rhyme. It's a poem still. I don't know what to do with that, Adam. 22 points doesn't seem like enough, but at the same time, it needs to be a competition of some kind. So we're going to stick with 22.
I mean, fair enough. You'll give everyone else another 30 in the last round, as you always
absolutely, yes. I won't make the new girl go straight after that. That would feel very cruel. Stacey, what have you got?
I've got 46 lines that rhyme with each other, so 46 points.
No, there we go, 46 points straight on the board. Stacey Mellor.
I don't even need to read it. You can trust.
No, yeah, obviously, yeah.
I have that.
It's...
Yeah. So time. Everybody wants more time, but it is transient. Yet there is a way that you can keep time if you play a musical instrument, either with a group or if you play with yourself. You need to be able to keep time. Any sounds that don't adhere to this rule usually are considered decidedly unmusical or discordant or dissonant. Dissonance is basically a lack of agreement. Cognitive dissonance is the very human trait of being able to hold two conflicting beliefs at the same time, such as the desire to be well informed and the desire to stay sane. The word sanity comes from the Latin sanitas, which sounds a little bit like a company who empty the bins at a shopping centre food hall. Food halls have changed immensely over the last decade, and the Formica displays with the facades for Mackie D's and BK and the odd spud you like has been replaced with actual food trucks that are impossibly wheeled into these areas and festooned with pergolas and bunting and have post-hipster names like Wood Beef and Justice and the Sage Sausage Shipwright. Sausages probably aren't sage because they're not sentient, and I've never heard of wisdom coming from charcuterie. Charcuterie, speaking of that, it is possible, believe it or not, for someone to eat it without taking a photograph and posting on social media without the caption, all the meat, which of course it is not. Or vaguely, this. That's my current pet peeve with social media. Other pet peeves include currents. And that's current with an A, not an E. Current with an A and current with an E, both examples of homophones, because they sound the same, but they're different in meaning or spelling. Current with an E is an example of a homonym because it has two meanings. Current with an E means now, in the present, or a flow of charged particles. And I feel a massive affinity with charged particles because just like me, they lose energy when they travel. Unless it's first class. I don't mind that.
Stacy Mellor, 20 points. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Hooray!
What have you got for us?
Well, I'm hella competitive, so I'm looking at that 22 points, but
Your target is 22.
I'm now looking at what I've written, and I'll be surprised if I get double figures. So I'm just here for the lols now.
Can you rewrite it into a poem on the fly?
Oh, no. Okay, so time was one of the most frequently used words in 1980s pop music titles.
Ooh.
One of those was Party All the Time, performed by Donkey from Shrek, who was voiced by comedic multi-character extraordinaire Eddie Murphy. In 2007, it was revealed Eddie Murphy fathered Angel Iris Murphy Brown with the coolest Spice Girl, Mel B. Scary Spice. Scary Spice is officially the coolest Spice Girl, as I get to perform her as part of Britain's #1 tribute act, Wannabe. Children are often asked what they want to be when they grow up, which is ridiculous. They are children and don't understand the harsh realities of adulthood. Which is why the top answer of 2020 was TikToker /influencer /YouTuber. being said, the highest earning YouTuber is 9-year-old Ryan Kadji, who is estimated to have earned $29.5 million last year. Not in his
Jesus.
whole YouTube career, just last year. His career began with unboxing videos. Unboxing is not the opposite of boxing, where two muscular physical athletes hug. That I would pay $29.99 a month to watch at 4 a.m. on Sky Sports. Unboxing is the art of literally taking stuff out of the box. For this round, I really had a hard time thinking out of the box, as I am normally an organised linear thinker and I think too hard about things and then I get in a tailspin. One of those things is how a metal tube filled with people and germs is able to hover in the air for up to 21 hours without refueling and not ending up in an actual tailspin so people can explore the world. I think people, in fact, put themselves in the sky tubes, aka aeroplanes, and that is so they can update their dating profiles with the classic yet unimaginative conversation starter: loves puppies, charity work, my mum, and to travel.
Lauren Douglin, 13 points.
Double figures, I'm good, I'm in, cool.
At the end of round one, plenty of time to go, but the scores look something like this. Bringing up the rear on a respectable 16 points, it's Lauren Douglin. Second place, 24 points, Stacy Mellor. But in the lead, on only 25, it's Adam Tumber. But it's all to play for as we zoom straight into round two.
The worthy drama round.
Round two is where things get real. To prove they belong on a children's time travel drama show, my contestants are going to have to show they have the chops to write a good educational drama themselves. Why? Because that's the long-standing format of the show. Stop asking questions. Last week, I gave my candidates a time travel-themed title and sent them off to write an informatively educational drama script for us all to perform now. As ever, there's bonus points on offer for the most TARDIS-worthy acting, so I want some Peter Cushing-level stuff. The only problem is that the first episode of this show had some pretty bad play titles, and this is episode 10. So, set your expectations accordingly. Stacey, what was your play title?
Dr. Zhivag who?
Dr. Zhivag who?
The next transportation to 2018 will be departing in 1 hour. Please process to the space-time terminal. Bing bong.
Step this way, please, man.
What's the matter, officer?
Just come with me, please. I'm Officer Einstein. This is my colleague, General Relativity.
Good afternoon.
Take a seat, ma'am. Could you confirm your name, please?
It's Dr. Zhivago.
Doctor who?
No, Dr. Zhivago. It's Russian.
What is the nature of your time travel today?
I forgot my dad's birthday, so I'm going to go and mail him a card.
I'm afraid that's in direct violation of the butterfly effect clause.
Actually, there was an amendment in 2020. Scientists have disproved the butterfly effect at the quantum level, refuting the idea that changes made in the past would have grave ramifications upon returning to the present. We found that our world survives, which means there's no butterfly effect in quantum mechanics. However, I don't buy it.
What do you mean?
I don't buy it.
By what?
That you're going to send a birthday card.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, General, you're right. This is to make a point, isn't it?
A point?
Yes, you're one of those, aren't you? A chronogenet, protesting the lack of female time travellers.
I couldn't possibly understand to what you're referring.
You know.
You know.
Oh, sorry, getting overexcited.
Don't play dumb with me.
Blooming chronojets. Make our life a chore with all the extra checks we have to do to stop them travelling. And then they go on about the lack of time travel diversity. Look, women just have to be really careful with time travel. It's not something to be taken lightly.
She's right, women just can't do it. I mean, going back and forth a few years is fine, but no one's making any sci-fi based on that, are they? Jennifer Garner went forward 17 years just to go out with Mark Ruffalo. Outlander was okay too. As long as the time traveling exists to prevent someone feeling bad for being adulterous, it's watchable. But women just don't time travel.
Can you imagine? You'd say something like hot girl summer or hashtag goals, and they think you're a witch. You'd be ablaze on a stake before the day was out.
Yeah, have you finished?
Yes. There are so few examples of time traveling women that pointing out the futility of it is just too easy. So come on, what are you doing?
You're right. I'm not a chronojet and I'm not mailing a birthday card. But you see, there's this guy.
Oh, just a bit of girlish whimsy, is it? A little crush? Oh, you should have said so. Harmless. Off you pop then. Here's your passport. Ever so sorry about that.
It's fine, an understandable mistake. Hi, can I speak to Rachel McAdams, please? Hi, Rachel. Yes, yeah, I'm on track. Yeah, they were just as you said they'd be, bloody idiots. I wish I didn't have to play into stereotypes so much. But don't worry, the plan is as we discussed. First, I'll get Benedict Cumberbatch, then Donald Gleeson, followed by Owen Wilson and Eric Bana. I'll hold them hostage. We'll get the writer to change the movie plot. I still can't believe you've been in 4 films about time travel, Rachel, and you've not actually travelled in any of them.
The pod to 2018 is now boarding. Thank you for choosing Chronos Temporal Carriers for your journey today. Bing bong.
Incredible work, everybody. Having a proper actor on really shows everybody else who's ever been on the show up for the fools that they are. Take notes, you two.
I thought you elevated the material.
The old Rachel McAdams has been in 4 films about time travel and never time travelled. Is that a bona fide good old fact?
Yeah. Well, actually, if you Google it, it'll just say 3 because since then she's done another.
Have a bonus point.
First one that she did was The Time Traveller's Wife. The second one was Midnight in Paris with Owen Wilson. The third one was About Time. And then the fourth one was Doctor Strange.
I'm glad I've seen one of those 4 then.
I don't think I've seen any of those.
I haven't seen any.
Me then, just the Rachel McAdams fan. They will love her. I've got a massive crush on her.
Oh, and she's never got to go back in time and stand on a butterfly.
No.
Adam, what was your play title, please?
It was Modern Time Machines.
Modern Times Machines. A little insight for all the listeners, because I don't think many of them will have got it either. Adam did message me after I sent him his brief saying, what film is this? And is it a spoiler, Adam, to reveal what film this is?
It is a spoiler, yeah.
Okay.
Please let me sarcastically reveal it in the play itself. Well, it was an amusing film, but I can't help but feel it would have been more interesting with a bit of dialogue. I'd hate to have to write a play based on a silent movie for an audible-only medium. I'd probably have to completely drop the premise of it for something else entirely.
I can't help but feel you're missing the point. Chaplin's genius is in the way he conveys the message to the viewer without the ability to speak.
But don't you want to know what would have happened if Chaplin had had that technology?
I suppose so. Luckily, I have just the thing to explore this.
This better not be the power of imagination.
Nope. I have a time machine.
What does it look like? A telephone box? An at face value nice looking car with gull wing doors but commercially a failure bankrupting its creator? Or is it a hot tub?
None of those things are really that practical. I just have an app on my phone that'll do it. It's a native app, which means it'll only work on a device made by this company. Are you ready? Let's go!
Right, I spoke to Mr. Chaplin, and I gave his production crew the technology they needed to make talkies. It's only a few years ahead of where it was actually adopted, so I can't imagine it will have any significant impact on our timeline.
Well, let's hope so. We know about the butterfly effect. closely associated with the work of meteorologist Edward Lorenz and popularised partially by Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Let's go back and find out.
Halt, citizens! What are you doing in this restricted area?
Restricted area? We've just watching a silent era movie special.
I'm afraid Cinematica is strictly restricted to upper echelon citizens.
Even Chaplin?
Especially Chaplin. All major historians agree that when his movies turned into talkies, his performance was so poor, it thoroughly demoralised the Allied troops and Germany won the war.
See, Roger, I told you something like this would happen. We only just got away with it when you got drunk and caused the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1962. Because if the Allies lost the war, the Treaty of Versailles never forced the Germans into reparations, creating the economic and social conditions that led to the rise of Hitler. They probably never came up with the Volkswagen Beetle, the car designed by Ferdinand Porsche on his orders either.
Sorry, did you say Hitler, the Austrian painter? His later works are regarded as good as anything by Van Gogh or Rembrandt. He's a little out there for my taste, what with his vegetarianism and teetotalism. It is said he inspired the song I'm Too Sexy, the first hit single of multi-award winning and platinum-selling artist Right Said Fred.
Beloved painter. So the Second World War never happened. I guess we didn't screw up too bad. But why all the restricted areas and jackboots?
Well, without the Second World War, the UN Charter was never signed in 1945, and it appears that in the absence of worldwide peacekeeping, it would seem that totalitarian regimes with significant restrictions on freedom are everywhere.
So, a bit like where were we before then?
Well, yes, but without the sheen of incompetence.
Right, citizens, I think that's quite enough informative chat and satirical banter. Time to go.
Yes, Karen, let's go silence Chaplin again.
Good.
Okay, Lauren, final play of the night. First play by a professional actor, so I'm hoping for great things.
Please stop hoping.
Lauren, what was your play title?
My play title is The Time Pest.
The Time Pest.
Anybody feel comfortable doing a sea shanty? No one. Wonderful.
Listen, obviously, I love all forms of attention, so I'll definitely do it. But does that steal a role from
So it's
somebody else?
literally just two roles.
I'll sing the shanty, and then I'll just hand over to Adam to play Prospero for the rest of it.
Glorious. Stacy, how do you feel about rapping?
It's 2 points straight away. I'm so excited for this.
Oh, Jesus.
12 years ago, whilst out at sea, everything changed for my daughter and me. Caught in a storm, our boat broke down. Now I've lost my kingly crown. Soon, when the time does come, I'll betroth my daughter and gain a son. I know that's not usually done in 2021.
Which means I must break the spice. Oh, fuck it. I was trying. I can't quite get the voice nerdy enough to copy Sam. Which means I must break this time-space continuum to uphold the outdated belief that a man should hand off a woman to another man. Ariel.
I'm so mad at you.
Oh yeah, you can't talk because you gave up your voice for a man. Sounds like a fairy tale to me. Fire up the time machine for me so I can drag my daughter Miranda back to 1611. When Willies wrote comedies about awkwardly falling in love as part of toxic relationships.
Yo, pups, what's the hats? I was hanging with my crew. Now I'm stuck on this magical island with you.
That's because it's time for you to now find a husband.
But pups!
No, Miranda. To rephrase the Jessie J banger, Daddy Knows Best, I've brought us back 400 years to when this forced marriage stuff was pretty standard.
That's not what I wanted you think to ask me. Let me live my own life, be sexually free.
Sexually free, it's time for you to settle down. You've been living your life like Lou Bega in Mambo No. 5. You've had Sebastian, Antonio, Gonzalo, Alonso.
So, what's your point? It's not 1918. You know women can vote now. Where have you been? I could get my own man, it's really a breeze. Why should my dad decide who I please?
Oh, how vulgar this is. Why women shouldn't time travel.
I didn't know I sounded so much like Josh Widdicombe.
What about the doctor?
Oh,
Jodie Whittaker time travels better than you.
Miranda, my girl, just be rest assured that your father, future King of Milan, just wants what's best for you. I can now hear the Josh Widdicombe bit. I don't know whether I'm now sending it more in that direction thanks to you.
What's best for me is to write some music. I got this talent. I don't want to lose it. I could write musicals, films, and TV. I might even sign a deal with Mr. Walt Disney. Shows about heights, high school, and ham. As the adverts like to tell me, this girl can. Why have I got to be defined by a man?
Oh no.
What? What's the trouble? What more can
It's
I...
happened again. Ariel! Ariel! You've transported me and the body of my daughter Miranda. Congrats. But you've brought the brain of Lin-Manuel Miranda. What am I supposed to do with all this? Oh wait, an island? A musical genius? A Disney princess? My dear Tony Award-winning daughter. Would you be kind to join me in a 3-person rendition of Moana?
Pops, are you serious? It's 1611. I've never heard of it. Can we do Frozen?
Adam Tumber will be having words later on. Generic nerd voice number 5.
Oh, thank you. That was beautiful. And now I feel like we are the next cast of Hamilton.
Hamilton Academicals, possibly.
Before we proceed on to the scores for this round, I do need to hand out the traditional 5 bonus points for performance. There's one actor on this call who absolutely isn't getting 5 bonus points from me for anything ever again. And there's another actor on this call who absolutely blew us all away. And it obviously has to be Lauren Douglin. 5 extra points to you. Congratulations.
Thanks. I thought it was going to be Stacy. That rapping was next level.
Heading into round 3, the scores look something like this. Still bringing up the rear, but the gap has closed. Lauren Douglin has 41 points. Stacy Mellor still next in line, 45. Only 1 point ahead. It's all to play for in round 3. Adam is on 46.
Ooh, it's a close one.
It's a close one.
It's time for this week's attempt at an interview round.
It's nearly the end of the show, and we're almost at the point where we find out which of our candidates will travel in time and which will do something else that will rhyme. Before we finish up, though, we've got time for the interview round. All sci-fi actors will get interviewed eventually by a nervous nerd from a weird fan publication, so our actors might as well get it over with now. Remind the candidates that how they say it is just as important as what they say. If they can have a conversation with the interviewer instead of just rattling off answers, that's a great start. That's just good interview technique. Also, let the candidates know that that sentence isn't a dig at them, it's part of a running joke for Series 2, which obviously none of them know yet, they haven't heard the first episode. Stacey, how many herbs can you name?
All of them. Next question.
Yeah. Shouldn't have phrased it like that, but fair enough, that's a 2-pointer. Fine. Stacey, who would you cast as your ordinary human friend who travels around time and space with you asking obvious questions so you can explain the plot to them?
Rachel McAdams.
Finally, she gets to do it! Adam, who would you cast?
Do they have to enjoy it? Or can I just bring them with me to torture them?
I guess not. Who are you bringing?
Can I bring you as my sidekick?
Christ, I would not enjoy that. Fair enough. Lauren, who are you bringing along?
I would bring Meghan Markle so I could actually bring her to Sussex when I was growing up and actually show her that I am the OG Duchess of Sussex. Because I feel like she doesn't understand. She don't get it.
Why she left? I've heard. She's like, oh no, I'm sorry. Sorry.
I don't understand Hastings Old Town and fish and chips. I'm going home.
Hastings is nice. I have a free ticket to the Hastings Crazy Golf Course because I got to the end of it and hit the little bell on the thing. And I said, look, I don't know when I'm ever going to use this. And they said, don't worry, bring it back whenever you want.
It will still be there, I swear to God. That thing has been there forever.
Is it a good crazy golf course? Lauren looked really impressed when you said you hit the little bell at the end.
It's
so.
well hard.
That'll be like a lovely bit of time travel when you go back as an old man and you get out your little ticket and you go, I've got a free gift. And the person at the ticket desk hasn't aged a bit. That's a film.
Lauren, when did you last pet a cat?
Oh my God, I've just got 2 kittens and I literally did it on our drink break.
Can they pop up on the call now?
No, they've been banished because they're really, really naughty. But when we
Aw.
finish, I'll go and get them.
5 points? I don't expect anyone to give a better answer than 2 fresh kittens, but Stace, when did you last pet a cat?
Years. I don't really touch cats
Yeah.
that much. I'm a dog person.
Don't touch cats that much.
I hiss at them.
No points. Stacey, popular children's TV time travel characters always seem to end up meeting every significant person in history. Who's the most historically significant person that you've met?
Oh, I've met Buzz Aldrin. He touched my bum. Okay, I backed into his hand.
Wow.
I worked in France for a few years after I finished university on hotel barges, and we had a charter of old Hollywood stars who came to stay on the boat. So there were many people. There was Miss America 1954. Debbie Reynolds was there hiding lipstick down the side of the sofa. And Buzz Aldrin came onto the boat. We had 2 boats that were chartered, and he came onto our boat one lunchtime. And because there were so many old Hollywood celebrities packed into the dining room, I couldn't get through when I was serving lunch. So I ended up brushing my left bum cheek against his right hand. It was a beautiful moment.
I love that you've remembered the details so clearly as well. Left bum cheek, right hand.
Yeah, well, you know, there was a lot going on in that year. I was a 25-year-old with nothing but a dream.
Nothing but a dream and a bum cheek. All right, well, it feels pointless asking, but go on. Lauren, who's the most historically significant person you've met?
I helped carry Fisher up 3 flights of stairs at the Old Vic.
Oh!
And she snuck in a can of Coke and I let her have it. I didn't confiscate it.
All the same family, though. That's Debbie Reynolds' daughter.
It is.
And I've met Debbie Reynolds, so we're like linked already. We're like...
Stacey, you actually inspired me because I was going to say Shaquille O'Neal, who is a very tall basketball player, but I didn't know how specific that was.
I would have got Shaquille O'Neal. You can have an extra point for Shaq.
Fantastic. I chased him around a theme park in Florida. I actually spoke to him and he said, "Hey man, I like your accent." I was like, "Thanks, babe." That was a lovely interaction.
Adam.
Well, the only way I could possibly beat Buzz Aldrin would be if I'd met the first man on the moon as opposed to the second.
Yeah, but you haven't.
But unfortunately, I haven't.
No.
Can you just not spoil my flow, please? Especially when probably the most historically significant person that I've met, sadly and historically for all the wrong reasons, is Jimmy Savile.
Oh, God. The bell sound is much too jolly, but I mean, I guess just one.
Well, you say the bell sound is too jolly, but they used to have bells in cemeteries on gravestones.
Oh,
So if someone was buried alive, they could ring the bell to actually bring the cemetery keeper there. So
Do they tie it to the body, though, so that you don't have to find... It's not like when you go to the bathroom in the night and you can't find the cord.
Adam, how good is the great content available at informeducateentertain.com?
you would not believe the guest contributors there's been. There's been Lin-Manuel Miranda. There's been Lewis Hamilton. Inspector Lewis from Morse. There's been Samuel Morse, the guy who invented the code. I mean, these people are all incredibly linked.
Stace, what about this cool Inform, Educate, Entertain t-shirt that I'm wearing?
Oh, it's amazing. It's it looks like it cost you at least like £7.50 or something. It's just brilliant.
£12. It was £12.
I like to think there's a box full of them in your back room.
There is not, and it's a good job because it's actually quite badly printed. Lauren, what other Inform, Educate, Entertain merch would you like to see?
I want notebooks, I want hats, I want electric scooters, I want to see dog collars, I want dog beds, I want combs, I want everything. Curtains.
Oh.
If I want to be informed, educated, entertained everywhere and anywhere I go. All of it.
You want curtains with my face
Yeah, rise and shine. Of course I do.
on?
Keeping those curtains open quite a lot.
And the good news is, with the ultimate piece of merch, we know where to find the Inform, Educate, Entertain mug.
Stacey, when did you last eat a Bakewell tart?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I don't have a sweet tooth, although I did eat 2 scones with clotted cream and jam today.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, oh, yeah. Yeah, tell me about
Oh,
this
yeah.
cotton cream. Oh, yeah. Who made these scones?
Morrison's. It was the top range, but I had to get them with sultanas in them because they'd run out of the all butter version.
A top range Morrison scone is a thing of beauty. Lauren, you look like you wanted to get into scone chat.
I really did. I wanted to know, jam then cream or cream then jam?
Cream then jam.
Cream and jam.
Disgusting.
I bet you put your milk in your tea first as well, don't you?
Oh, no, I'm not crazy. Absolutely not.
This is very British bants.
It's good, isn't it? Take that, international appeal. If you were to cook for me, what would be your signature dish? Lauren?
I'm going to take you around the world in 80 days, right? We're talking about time travel. Let's actually travel. So we're going to have a starter that is going to be French frog legs. Then we're going to have second starter, nachos with a bit of pulled pork. Then we're going to go classic. We're going jerk chicken, rice and peas, because it's the only thing my grandma's ever taught me how to cook. Then to finish, we started French. What's a good for pudding? We're coming back to Britain. We're having scones done correctly. Jam then cream.
Go on then. Yeah, you'll have a point for that, just because you clearly want to win this.
Can you tell?
Stacey, which moment in your life would you like to travel back to and witness again?
Oh, oh God, so many. Because I'd like to go back to many and just go, what are you doing? Like, first person I slept with, just to be like, oh,
You'd
you're
like
not
to go back and witness that again?
not witness it, but just be like, oh, you're not going to enjoy that.
Oh, you want to go back and
troll myself. I want to troll myself.
so you want to go back, witness it happening, and be like, in your face.
Yeah, I'm such a dickhead.
I respect the shit out of this.
No one would ever do that. Everyone's like, oh no, I go back and give myself some wisdom. Woo-ba-doo-ba-doo. No, I'd be like, this ends badly.
Lauren, what would you do?
Now I want that idea. I want. Oh God, I'd probably go back to the time I was living in Spain, and I thought it was a really good idea to scoot down the road in a trolley, but not like a supermarket trolley, like the ones where they bring out all the loo rolls. So it was like a stand-up cage with wheels. And I thought because I was stood up, it was going to be safer. It's never safe going through a crowded street in Spain on a trolley. Originally, I was going to say I'll go back and tell myself not to do that, but now I'm going to take a page out of the Stacy Mellor book of trolling yourself and go back and be like, dickhead, you're going to end up in a wall.
Oh my God. Living the stereotype of the Brit abroad. I love it. Adam Tumber.
Yes.
I'm changing the question. You can't just go back and watch now. Which moment in your past would you go back and call yourself a dickhead at?
I had a really nice sentimental answer lined up for the original question.
Go on then. We'll have that one as well, but I want the dickhead moment too.
All right. The sentimental one is I will go back to the birth of my first son because he was born as an emergency C-section. We were basically given 20 minutes notice, so I was in shock and didn't really take anything in for that time.
Aww.
I'm pretty sure there was a Michael Bublé song playing in the operating theatre, but that's about the level of detail I remember from it. So it would be nice to relive that and actually take some of it in.
Well, that's a nice answer. Let's have your dickhead answer now.
I think probably I'd go back to my first stand-up comedy and probably just shout dickhead.
So would I. That's my answer too. I'd go back to your first gig. So, finally, the traditional question that closes all job interviews. Do you have any questions for me?
What do you personally like most about working for Ieee?
I love, Stacey, getting my friends and fantastic new comedians I've not met before on a Zoom call and pissing about on a Sunday night. It's terrific. It's not funny, but it's true.
Well, you asked for an interview question at the question.
I'd like to know if we're applying for the job of generic time traveler on TV. We know that those generic time travelers tend to have a limited shelf life. What will my shelf life be if I'm selected?
I imagine, Adam, you'll.
That I'll not get selected. Yes.
No, I mean, let's say you got selected, and then it'd be in the press again. Oh, look, another white man is playing generic time travel regeneration character. Haven't we seen all this before? And then, of course, the horrible internet men will be all in favour of you, and they'll be like, shut up, feminists. And as a result, because I hate the horrible internet men, I'm going to have to fire you after one series. After which you can go around doing Comic-Con for the rest of your life.
I've just realised I'm also not in the running for this role either, am I?
Suckers!
I'm a lass from Huddersfield.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
What a cliche.
So, there we are. That is the end of the interview round, and indeed our show. It's time to add up the points and find out who will travel in time and who will drown their sorrows in lager and lime. In third place, on 66 points, a very respectable score for a newcomer, but a poor score for a veteran. It's Adam Tumber.
Yep, 3 from 3. I'm never going to win this. Sam never, ever will let me win.
Don't be a dick then. Second place had 75 points. The winner had 76 points. Lauren Douglin is our new infinitely regenerating children's TV time travel character. Woo! Congratulations, Lauren. Before you step into the non-branded time travel phone booth, there's just time for a quick acceptance speech.
Thank you very much. Can I have some curtains now, please?
Lauren, is there anything you would like to plug?
You can find me on the socials at Lauren Douglin, which is like Douglas, but with an in rather than an ass. So it's Douglin. The world is opening back up. There are gigs. Come follow me, find out where I'm going to be. And you might see me on your telly box sometime. So have a lovely life.
Are you in anything coming up on the telly box?
I'm currently in Amazon Prime show The Girlfriend Experience, and this summer I'm going to be in Ian Sterling's new ITV2 comedy, Buffering.
Woo! And the advantage of it being an Amazon Prime show is that whenever I get this episode out, it'll still be there. Adam and Stacy. Adam and Stacy, I'm afraid you didn't get the role, but we'll cover you in tinfoil and you can play some space robots or something in the next episode. Before we do, though, is there anything you guys would like to plug? Plug. Is there anything you would like to plug?
You can follow me on Twitter at Adam T Comedy, or you can maybe, if you're really lucky, become the 4th follower of Gabriel Jones Corporate Angel on Facebook. By the time Sam releases this podcast, hopefully we'll have the Comedy Cellar at Verve reopen in the heart of Leeds for some wonderful open mic grassroots comedy, and I hope to see you there. The alternative version, of course, is, well, Boris has fucked it again, so we're all stuck indoors, so unfortunately, no, I've got nothing to plug this time. You'd give me fucking points now.
Stacey, anything from yourself?
No, I'm still on sabbatical
Right.
from doing stuff on stage.
Yeah, fair
but
enough.
I may be coming back late in 2022.
Well, listeners, Stacey is genuinely amazing on stage, and if you get the chance, you should go see her. So there we are. I think we've all had enough nonsense for this week. Join me again in 2 weeks' time when 3 more Merchants of Mirth will be competing for some other daft job. All that's left is for me to say goodbye from Stacey, Lauren, Adam, and of course our fictional studio audience who remain as made up as this show's download figures, and remind you to come back next time for another episode of Inform, Educate, Entertain!
That was Inform, Educate, Entertain, starring Sam Wilkinson with special guests Lauren Douglin, Adam Tumber, and Stacy Mellor. The chair script was written by Sam Wilkinson, the program was edited by Sam Wilkinson, and Sam Wilkinson built a robot to go back in time and invent great podcasts for him. That robot's name? Jingletron 5000. It was a fictional production company production for Ieee and the internet. Cheery bye now!